started in Detroit when I was about 5 years old. I started writing music and playing piano. And I had had no formal training. So then a few years...
At 5, you'd had no formal training. That's amazing.
Just one of those things. But so then my mother began taking me around to all the nightclubs and stuff in Detroit. And I would go out on stage and tell the band what to play, even though I had never studied music. I didn't know what key or anything to tell them. I would just sit at the piano and say, okay, play it like this. And I would do this little act with my mother as my chaperone. And then when I was about 14, I got my first hit record in Detroit. And then left Detroit, went to L.A. You would think I would come to New York to do theater from Detroit. But I didn't know about that. I had a sister that was living in L.A. and she was trying to get into films. So that's where I ended up going to L.A. and I did, in fact, get into films. Shortly thereafter, I did my first...
by audition, or...?
It was a fluke. It was a fluke. I had signed with a modeling agency because a friend had suggested that I could do modeling because I was really struggling in L.A. I mean, we weren't eating too good. So this friend said, well, why don't you try to sign with this big Nina Blanchard modeling agency? So I went there, and she signed me up, but I wasn't getting any work. So one of the agents there at her agency was assigned to trying to get models work who they thought might have some acting ability. So they casted the movie Sparkle. And this agent called me and he said, I think you'd be perfect in this movie. Honey, if you could just sing, do you think you could sing a song? And he didn't know I had been doing this since I was 5. And I said, sure. So I ended up going on the audition for Sparkle. I played for myself. I sat at the piano, played for Sam Osteen, who was the director, who's actually a brilliant editor. And I got it. I got it. And that was the beginning of my professional career.
So you never had any really formal training, or you just, except by doing, right?
Then I did. No, actually I did. After I did my first few films, I was, thank God, it was a blessing, I was coaxed into starting classes with a wonderful voice teacher in L.A., Deanie Clark. And at first I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Now, what can this guy teach me about singing? I've been singing since I was a little girl. You know, what could he possibly teach me? Then, of course, after about 2 classes, I realized that there was a whole world that I had no idea about in terms of singing and technique. And I was raised on Motown, which is not to put that down. It's a wonderful part of our history. But it certainly has nothing to do with Sinatra and Judy Garland and Ethel Waters and Billie Holiday and Dinah Washington. And he taught me about them.